We're hearing reports of people who are now finally able to say what they really think and that they're pleased that he's been captured. Of course, there is reticence about saying it and displaying that openly on the streets right now because there are a number of mercenaries who are still running around the city and no one's really sure who's who. But there is a great relief that maybe at least the real hard conflict has come to an end.
There have been concerns, of course. Gbagbo has said that he was captured not by Ouattara forces but by the French, and that he wouldn't have been captured had it not been for international intervention. Do you think that is going to be an issue as the rebuilding of this country starts?
Look, it absolutely could be an issue, and French forces, the French government, the UN, the US president, everyone has come out to try and make clear that it was the forces of Alassane Ouattara who seized Mr. Gbagbo. What they are of course concerned about is anything that may weaken the legitimacy of Alassane Ouattara as he goes into trying to pull this country back together to stabilise it and to create some harmony in this country. Of course, by saying that it was French forces, it gives it a sense of that it was outside influence that led to him being overthrown, giving weight perhaps to his supporters to take up arms at a later date. So people are being very careful about what they're saying, what happened. Of course, the UN definitely did have a role in getting to this point, and in fact even in the final hours before his seizure, I mean they launched an attack and their tanks surrounded his last position. But the troops who actually, they say, who seized him were the forces that were loyal to Alassane Ouattara.
Highly supported, of course, as you are suggesting, by the French and UN. Ouattara is now saying that he will try Gbagbo for crimes against humanity. Now, in terms of bringing the country together, that may not necessarily be the best way to play out. It might be better if there is an independent judiciary who goes through that process.
Well, this is, of course, there's a lot of grey areas in this as well, because, Alassane Ouattara doesn't have clean hands in this regard either. I mean, his forces who were on their sweep to the capital, they're accused of mass killing. So he may want to see his rival tried, but I'm sure his rival wants the same thing to happen to him. It's early days yet to know which way this is going to play out. But, I mean, all that can be said for certain is that he has been captured, he is in custody, and that these things will play out over the next, week, 10 days. More
critically, though, of course, is the shattered infrastructure, the lack of food, the lack of water. That is going to need to be immediately addressed. Is there an expectation the UN will move in?
Well, of course. I mean, it's not just the UN, but various aid agencies. They've pretty much ringed the country because they've not been able to get in. There's no guarantees of security. Outside of Abidjan, people know that things are very, very uncertain. But you have aid agencies who have been waiting, who have been doing logistical runs to see what's needed and to see how they can assist. So, yes, people are ready and willing to go in once they know that it is safe enough for them to do so.
Ginny Stein in South Africa, thanks for your time.
Pleasure.